Vicki. We got great guests in studio now. It's Dick Taylor and Wendy Smith for the Port of Call from the Port of Shelton. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good to see you.
Fall has fallen.
I know you have some other. You wanted to make sure that you mentioned that the the Huskies were playing.
Yeah,
this
the
weekend.
Huskies are playing this weekend too.
Yeah, I'm glad we got
And
that
the
out
49ers.
there. And the 49ers. Of course.
Hey, go Cougs.
We already know about the Cougs, and they did so well last week. What an
man.
exciting
Yeah, what a
end to the game.
fun event.
Anybody that beats the Ducks is okay.
It's okay with you, huh? You guys have been at small ports meetings last week. Is that
Small
right?
Ports
The
Conference.
conference. Tell us about
Held
it.
every year. This year was out in Leavenworth.
Oh, beautiful.
So the drive over there was absolutely beautiful. The mountains this time of the year are just stunning with all the changes of colors.
Oh,
We
it's
had,
beautiful
how
out
many
here.
ports do we have there?
God, what did they say? 40?
40 small ports were at this conference.
Oh,
so.
wow.
A port of Leavenworth falls in a port of.
Chelan.
Chelan,
Yeah.
which is one of the small ports.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, they were there, and it was an interesting conference. Lots of presentations. One was by the state auditor to see how things go with them and how they do business.
Sure.
And what people look for and how to prepare for audits and that sort of thing. And it's kind of just getting your ducks in line before you start. Make sure you're crossing the T's and dotting the I's and what they're looking for.
And that's important.
If I
And they're
remember
not- and-
correctly, right, the auditor's office has taken some of your notes, right, from the port to then pass along to everyone else.
Yeah, we're not going to brag, but yes, that's true.
Wow, that's,
You
I
wouldn't
would
say it,
brag.
but I'll
That's
say it.
awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
some of
have.
our checklists and things that
Yeah.
we do. Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool. We'll also
Yeah.
on you for that.
Yeah.
So there was a long conversation with the auditor's office, and it's more than just their audits are more than just financial audits. They go back and they look at, for example, all your meeting minutes from during the audit period
Wow.
to see that you're doing things the way you say you're going to be doing it, and make sure that you're doing it right when you do it. So yeah, it's quite extensive, and then we get to pay for it too.
Yeah. Right? Hey, how about that?
All right.
So you're paying for the auditor.
Did they feed you at
Some,
least?
yeah.
No.
Somebody asked that
no,
question.
for
How
the
do
audit, we pay for that. on
Right.
top of
Yeah.
that.
Oh, okay.
Somebody asked how you can reduce your cost of the audit, and they didn't have
And
an
that
answer.
wasn't
They-
it.
there was
yeah.
no answer
No
to
line
that.
item for that one.
No.
Very cool.
Darn it.
What's
And there were some discussions with the CURB people,
yes.
Community
Economic
Economic
Revitalization
Revitalization
Board.
Board,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been very, very fortunate
Yeah.
dealing with CURB, and we've had
Three.
three.
Well, really four.
Yeah.
We have a really old one. Yeah,
an old
true.
one,
Yeah.
But in
Recently,
recent history,
three.
yeah, we've had three recently, loans and grants from them.
Great.
Big, and it really helps out a port like ours.
Yeah.
To develop three companies that are coming here, and that's jobs for the community.
Sure.
And not to brag again,
Oh, you keep bragging.
ahead.
baby.
but the
You do
CURB
your
people
bragging.
used us as an example on what.
Yeah.
Wow. Good
Yeah.
for you guys.
Awesome.
She was giving
So-
her presentation and flipped the page, and here's our logo.
And
You
there
know.
you go.
And
Nice.
Belco, we got to give them a
Oh,
plug.
yeah,
'cause it was
Belco.
our latest
Nice.
Yeah,
with
Belco was the
Yeah,
latest
yep.
CURB
So-
thing that we went through.
What are some of the struggles other smaller ports are facing these days?
Well, they're looking at tax base, finances.
Yeah.
There was a kind of a fairly good presentation on pros and cons of being your own treasurer.
Yeah.
And so for those of you that don't know, most local governments like ours, special purpose districts, fire districts, hospitals, they use the county as their bank.
Sure.
We actually don't. Years ago, I think it was in 2002.
Yeah, when Marlene was on the
Yeah, we our CPA at the time and the treasurer of the commission determined that we would go forward and become our own bank in essence, and then utilize a commercial bank. So we actually only use the county as they collect our taxes and then they remit them to us. So yeah, it's a little different. So there were pros and cons, and for a small port, that's a big deal, because what it ends up doing, if you ever come to our really exciting meetings, we actually prepare what's called a check control report, and it's super detailed, and it's prescribed that way. I mean, we have to do that by law because we are our own treasurer. So
Wow.
it's kind of interesting. So that was kind of a good discussion. For smaller
cool.
ports, it doesn't always make sense to do that. You don't have the staff or the time, that kind of
Right.
thing. But yeah, it gives you the opportunity to look at different interest rates. You can go outside the county's pools, and
Oh, I can see how that would be
Yeah.
helpful.
In fact, we
for
make more money doing it the way we're
smaller
doing it right
ports.
now.
yeah.
That's
That's
great.
good.
And timely, when your bills come in, you can get them paid, because I think that's the biggest, not that the county does a bad job by any means. They just have so much to deal with that they can turn around the vouchers only, once
Yeah.
a month or however that works.
Right.
Sure.
So when you're dealing, with different vendors, you can, we can get them paid quicker and
That's
that kind of
very
thing.
cool.
So kind of interesting to hear.
Are the other
different things.
small ports around the state seeing the types of growth that you guys are seeing? Just the massive amounts, like almost 100% full rates, things like that?
Depends on where you are.
Really,
Yeah.
it's still
Yeah.
regionally, economically regional specific?
I think
Yeah.
so, but I think everybody's in a way better
yeah,
spot.
the tide is rising.
Yeah.
That's what we're hearing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, at varying degrees, depending on where you are.
Okay.
Mhm. I
So-
sat
Yeah.
next to one commissioner from Port of Skagit, actually, and we were talking about that we have a marina and an airport, and they have a marina and an airport, and the differences. And he said their marina has 450 slips and makes $2 to $3 million a year and pays for the
Jeez.
airport. And here, our airport makes us the money, and we have 100
Yeah.
slips, and we can't use airport money to pay for the marina. So I mean,
But
it
do
was
they
just
have a restaurant out there? No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Good question.
I'm just
Good
kidding.
question.
Yeah.
But he was
I
asking
would
about a
hope.
restaurant at the airport.
Was he?
Which
Oh, very
Kapowson
cool.
does.
Yeah,
Oh, there's
yeah.
an
Yeah.
idea.
There's a little restaurant out there right now.
Yeah,
Sure.
Nice.
Kapowson.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Well, it's always good hearing good news from the port, especially when you guys are out and we're able to compare Port of Shelton versus the other ports around the community.
Yeah, and to
in the state.
become an example too. That's very
Yeah, well,
cool. That's not bragging. That's kudos.
Yeah,
you
for
know.
sure.
You can be an example in many ways.
Yes, good
Yeah,
example.
good
Yeah,
example.
Good
Port of
example.
Shelton.
There we go.
Dick Taylor and Wendy Smith here weekly at this time on iFiber One News Radio for the Port of Call segment, and good to talk with you. We'll talk
Yeah,
with you.
Good to
to
be here.
see you guys.
And
I
we'll-
won't be here next
Oh, that's
Yeah, we
right.
won't
you
be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then in a couple weeks we'll come back. Next week you guys gotta get ready for Halloween, right?
Oh,
right.
yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
You gonna
Deal.
decorate out there? What do you
Very
do out there?
spooky. I'll
Anything?
keep
At the
that
port?
fog in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fog.
That'll
We bring
help.
in the fog.
Oh, that's spooky
Spooky.
enough right there.